Hello and welcome to For Your Reconsideration, the film podcast equivalent of Linford's Lunchbox in Barcelona 1992. Long with plenty of real meat to go round, and something that your dear old Nan definitely found memorable.
Oh my god! Where did that come from? Were you watching some, athletics?
I don't even get that reference! Oh dear.
One for the 90s mums.
Definitely. So if we have to re-record that one, that's absolutely fine.
No, that's great. Let's keep that. That's funny. I like that.
Boys, how are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. I'm still trying to work out whether that's a good thing or not.
Well, let's move swiftly on and ask what you guys have been watching.
Are you finding it a bit of a barren wasteland at the moment in terms of film? I think what we sometimes get in this country is you get all the late year award pictures coming out in January and early February, so that's actually quite a good time in UK cinemas. But the last 4 weeks has been rather dry, with the exception of Dune Part 2, which one of my great achievements of this year is getting my wife into the Dune franchise. And yeah, she accompanied me to see Dune Part 2, which we both thought was absolutely spectacular.
It's very good, isn't it?
Just a monumental achievement in both technical craft and large-scale, big-budget storytelling. Everything about the movie absolutely bangs. So from Greg Fraser's sublime cinematography to Zimmer's totally bananas score, Dune Part 2 moves at an incredible clip without scrimping on world building or character development. The only question now is whether they give Denis the Oscar for this one or his now inevitable third instalment. It's truly the movie event of 2024 and no notes for me. But then I sort of fantastic, saw an amazing movie. It's probably going to be my film of the year, but we're in March. And I was like, what's next on the roster, really? I'm looking at big releases that are potentially coming out. So Furiosa should be good. The new Alien Romulus trailer has just dropped and that looks pretty decent, to be fair.
It does look good, yeah.
Alex Garland's got a new film out. Also, as well, we can't hide the fact that we're actually recording on the eve of a release of a new instalment in a beloved franchise that is coming out tomorrow, I believe. Do you guys want to name that film?
You can tell when a film's going to be rubbish when the press screening is the day before the national release day.
Hang on, I'm talking about the Roadhouse remake. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Tomorrow! Oh, snap!
Oh, God, yeah, Roadhouse. Oh God, I do want to watch it. It's supposed to be quite good. I've read it's quite good. I was, of course, talking about Ghostbusters.
Me and Simon once had an in-depth chat on about Roadhouse on a episode many moons ago now, and we both absolutely loved it. I rewatched it again last week, and that film is absolutely bananas. But one of my proudest takes on this podcast, if I could just toot my own trumpet for a moment, is the idea that Gordon Ramsay based his entire on-screen persona on the teachings of Dalton, and Kitchen Nightmares follows the exact same dramatic structure as Roadhouse.
Wasn't that the episode? I seem to remember some excellent Chris Nolan impressions as well in that.
Yeah, how Chris Nolan basically stole his that device of in The Dark Knight where the police and Batman have to race to say.
Have you guys seen Roadhouse?
Yeah, very influential film, Roadhouse, and I'm very much. What film were you guys talking about?
I think at the moment it's too raw for me to, because I've only just seen Empire's review of it.
Empire are famously I find them quite lenient on IP stuff. They overrate a lot of Marvel films and things of that nature.
I feel Empire go to what's going to get them curry more favour with film goers. And so I think that's why they're positive on the Marvel stuff. And then this one, it's primed for a kick-in, I think. We're talking about Ghostbusters. What's it called? Frozen
Empire.
Yeah.
Frozen Empire. And I just feel it's primed for a kick-in, and everyone is waiting to just completely slam it.
Yes, it feels that way. Although I think Empire gave Afterlife 4 stars, I think.
Yeah, they were more positive on Afterlife.
Yeah, which I really
did.
Well, I mean, I cried my Yes. Eyes out.
Force Ghost Egon. Spoilers for
Spoilers.
But yeah, Egon is a Jedi ghost at the end.
Gosh, now you say that, it really is. Oh, man.
Yoda and Anakin are in the background going, yeah, get it.
Do you know what? I'm down with all that. I'm okay with all that.
Well, I'm going to see it tomorrow, so I will let you guys.
Oh, please do. Please do.
My thoughts.
I mean, I'm probably going to end up seeing it. I didn't like Afterlife at all, really. But yeah, I'll probably end up going to see it because you can't have an opinion. You've got to go, haven't you? You've got to go.
Yeah,
and
true.
Also,
Very
of this parish, we did do the pretty great fun Ghostbusters 2, which is also unfairly maligned. Most people don't like that movie. So.
Yeah. I mean, if you go off like what most people say about the Ghostbusters franchise, is the only good one the first one. Because that's what most people would argue. I don't agree with that, but like...
I think the only two good ones are the first two in the 80s, to be fair. Mm. And I understand why people don't like 2 because it's sort of a retread of the first one.
It is. I read something yesterday saying like they've left the gap too big for these, carrying on the story. The gap's too big now, and the interest has waned over the years, and it's because it's become... It's not even a cult film because it was wildly popular anyway.
Yeah.
But because it's got this kind of like place in folklore, you just can't...
It's been mythologized to a degree that no sequel could ever live up to it.
Yeah. Because I actually quite like the Paul Feig one, to be honest. I thought that was quite good.
I had a fabulous afternoon with the children, my wife watching that one.
Yeah, it was fine, but that obviously got absolutely slammed as well. So you just it's one of those. It's like Indiana Jones, I guess. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't with those kind of franchises.
But they're all brilliant, so it's okay.
Yeah, Crystal Skull rocks.
Crystal Skull does rock, actually.
And Dial of
Ride of Destiny. He sat down for the entire movie.
Oh no!
Isles of Destiny. Yeah.
It's not. It's brilliant. I loved it. Let's move on. Anything else, James, before we go on to side?
No, I was also going to say I've been watching Guy Ritchie's The Gentleman on Netflix, which I've been thoroughly enjoying. I mean,
it's great.
It's really good.
It's got nothing to do with the film itself, really. It's just Guy Ritchie sort of overseeing 8 smaller versions of the same film he's been making since 1999, and that is not a criticism. Basically, it's like he knows his lane, he knows what he's good at, and as long as he keeps making stuff about erudite criminals, I'll keep watching it.
It's kind of like the same sort of treatment as Fargo, isn't it? Where it's like it's not related to the film, but in each of the series there's like a sort of little link or a little nod to the film, which is kind of what this series is. But I really enjoy. I've only watched 2, maybe 3 episodes. It's really good. Really,
I've seen. I've watched 6 of them because it's quite topical actually. Because Theo James was getting a lot of Bond traction on the back of this on social media. Wow. So I don't know if they've put that Aaron Taylor Johnson sort of story out into the media. It's just like, don't get attached to the idea of him doing it because we're literally just about to announce a new one.
He's good though, isn't he?
He's very good in The Gentleman. Yeah, he's very good.
He's really good. He plays that like posh boy pretty well, I think.
He's come a long way from snorting Neil's poo in the In-Betweeners movie.
He's a right prick in that.
Oh my gosh, that was him.
It was him, yeah. It was one of those films where he was such a dick in that I was off on him for about 10 years.
Of course.
It's acting, darling.
Yeah. So, but no, he's very good in this. He's really good. But no, I can't wait. I'm looking forward to finishing that.
Nice. Any others that you've been enjoying?
Yeah, I mean, similar to Joe, I've just watched Dune 2, which is obviously incredible. Just can't fault it, really. Much like when I watched Oppenheimer, I'm like, this is going to win everything. It's just so good. I do think I preferred the first one, though. I think I'm the only person who thinks this. I also found it just really sexy. It was like came out of it just like was that a porn film? Did we just? It's really raunchy. It's really erotic, but not like explicitly erotic.
Yeah.
It's all kind of just very inferred how sexy it is. But no, it's great. It's really good. Yeah, really. Well, look who's in it. It's like Austin Butler's in it.
Yeah.
Chalamet, Zendaya, Rebecca Ferguson. It's just a who's who of hot Hollywood people, really.
Cool.
But no, that's really good. Yeah, The Gentleman's really good. My parents came down to visit.
Oh, nice.
And I took them to the restaurant that was in Boiling Point.
Oh, yeah.
We got home. It was a really nice Sunday dinner. It was great. So we got home and then obviously put that on because we were like, oh, let's watch that. And then everyone was quite, oh, yeah, just went there, yeah. Oh, really? Oh, we sat at that table there. Oh, yeah. So we had a joke. And that film is just so good.
Yes.
Really, really good. I think it's like my favourite in terms of the one take. In terms of how it's executed, I don't think a film has done it as good as that one.
Yeah.
Just the way like it covers 12-hour day in 90 minutes and it's all in one take. It blows my mind. It's really, really good. And usually you can spot the cuts, but I couldn't. I think I mentioned it before, but yeah, really good film. Other than that, I've just been binge watching Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Obsessively.
I think we've been round this again, haven't we? Once before.
We have. Well, I'm on season.
Oh no, it was Below Deck, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it's the same. Like, mate, it's that same Bravo Andy Cohen guy who just is the king of these stupid reality TV programs. He did Below Deck, and Housewives of Beverly Hills is also him. I'm on like season 10 now. Like, I'm almost up to date, but I just absolutely love the drama of these vapid idiots. It's great.
Oh, gosh.
Absolutely love it. So, yeah, all my time is going into watching that. What about you, Rob? Anything more credible than that?
No, not more credible, but I've definitely been watching. So I've been watching Reacher, which I've really enjoyed. I've only read the first 2 books as well, so don't really have the greatest handle on Reacher. Obviously saw the Tom Cruise movies as well.
Yeah, great movie. That first one is mint. So
no, it is very, very good. But I actually think Alan Richardson's take on the character is really good.
Yes.
And he's hugely watchable. He brings a sensitivity.
Huge, isn't he, in general?
He's just like a massive dude that you believe can do the stuff that he does. Quite crucial. And he brings a real sensitivity to it. And I think it's really nicely played. It's a lot of fun, actually, that show. So, yeah, really enjoyed that.
Are you on the first or second series, Rob?
Just first at the moment.
Oh, yeah, so that's the only one I've seen. I did enjoy the first series. I got through it really quickly, but yeah, I haven't got to the second series, but it's proper dad telly, that, isn't it? You just put your slippers on and... Yeah.
Yeah. And, like, you know... because it's got quite a bit of bad language.
Oh, yeah.
A hint of Rudy Doody scenes as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, which we know other types of dads will, you know, best tune into that. That's not our particular way of going about things. But, yeah, it's really fun. I'm really enjoying it.
I like every episode. It's like, how's Reacher going to work this out? Well, obviously just going to go in there and kick the shit out of that guy.
Yeah. He'll say some really clever stuff too.
Yeah, he'll say some clever stuff and then he'll just go and beat the shit out of someone.
Which is really cool. It's got me interested in what Alan Richardson's going to do next, which is awesome.
He's going to be in the next Guy Ritchie movie, speaking of which.
Is he?
With Henry Cavill, yeah.
Oh.
Is it a pirate ship movie or something?
Well, hang on a minute. He's going to make a pirate movie.
It might not be a pirate movie. I just sold them on a ship, to be honest. Putting two and two together. I hope it's a pirate movie.
Like King Arthur levels of fascinating.
Oh yeah, King Arthur of this parish.
Oh, the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. So the British military recruits a small group of highly skilled soldiers to strike against German forces behind enemy lines during World War II. So no, not a pirate movie, but Henry Cavill's got a very scraggly beard in it. So
that sounds cool.
It does sound cool, yeah.
I hope he sorted his hair out, because that's the reason I didn't watch Argyle, was because of that stupid haircut.
I've also watched Well, James, the movie you suggested last time out, the horror film, was it Argentinian horror film?
Oh, that was Simon's suggestion. I haven't had the bravery to watch it yet.
Sorry, Si. It was you, mate. I'm so sorry. What was it called again?
Did you watch it? Where Evil Lurks, or When Evil Lurks? Something like that.
Yes. So I went straight from, as I said on the record, I'll go straight and watch it, and I did. And gosh, it was horrendous. In terms of, it was a great movie, but
it's very dark, isn't it?
Goodness gracious. So if you like your horror very visceral and super bleak and invasive, you've got to check that out. It's brilliant.
It's good.
I rounded off also think I did a long haul flight recently, and I watched Meg 2 on a tiny screen.
Is it good? I've not seen it yet. I've not seen it yet.
I mean, it's utter hokum. But it's got so many fun moments in it. So I don't have any problem with it at all. It's absurd. Totally absurd. But yeah, it's loads of fun. Had a good time. I mean, will I watch it again? Probably not. Will I get the kids to watch it? Probably, because at least they're watching a shark movie, even though they still don't like Jaws. So, yeah. Yeah, enjoyed it.
I did go for a phase of watching shark movies, and The Meg was one of the more enjoyable ones. So I do want to see the second one. And it's Ben Wheatley as well, which is really random.
Yeah, that is super duper random. Super
random.
Super stuff, guys. Another load of really good recommendations for everyone to go and enjoy and look for and swill upon, which is what you should all be doing. So picture that we're on a country road in America, and we're surrounded by dense woodland and rolling peaks of green, high pines, birds in the sky, the odd eagle going, ah!
This sounds like we're heading to a particular corner.
It is, and we're heading towards that corner, but we swerve. Because there's nothing to speak of in that corner at the moment. So we carry on going. And we find a sensitive criminal is broken out of jail by an old pal who promptly steals the movie, then snuffs it. Unsure of where to go, he ends up camping in the woods in a suit for no reason. Chilling out, pretending to be E.T., eating steaks and thumbing through jazz mags with huge indifference, our hero... Izzy befriends the young boy of the family and gets to macking on the kid's mum. I haven't mentioned there's a family yet, have I?
This is more of a synopsis than a log line, to be fair.
There's a family. The mum, however, has her own issues, namely a corrupt landowning, generic classic British bastard who wants her land. Cue lots of roundhouse kicks in stonewashed jeans, oodles of what Amazon Prime refers to as passion, and lots of unintentional hilarity. Of course, it's the slept-on 1993 JCVD bruiser, Nowhere to Run. There's actually plenty of places to run. It's that JCVD is flipping horny.
A fugitive with nowhere to run.
How come you've got a gun? You a bad guy?
A family with everything to lose.
I'm not gonna give up my home.
And no one to turn to.
Sam!
Move on.
Who are you?
You're not from around here, are you?
When the enemy can destroy a town.
They want your land. Why?
We're gonna need her parcel. It's right in the middle of the whole development.
And the law is on their side.
Stop right there.
The only hope for justice.
For everybody's sake, just get out of here!
Is an outlaw.
When push comes to shove, you're going to be dealing with me. I look forward to it.
It's our duty to inform the authorities of Mr. Gillen's whereabouts.
Sam, something's wrong.
If I see me, her, or the children, I'll kill you.
Jean-Claude Jean-Claude Van Damme as you've never seen him before. Nowhere to run.
Woof, goodness me, nowhere to run. But James, before we get into the movie itself, you've actually picked something up, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been in my tactics truck and I've worked out the stats.
with Andy Townsend.
Yeah, he's still in there. He's been crunching the numbers all week, bless him. And we've come to the conclusion that we've done 7 JCVD pictures.
7.
Whoa.
Wow.
I'll just let me check that mine and Andy's maths are correct. Nobody in America is going to get that reference at all. So we've got the 2 Himes pictures: Hard Target, Universal Soldier, Double Impact. This one, I've forgotten one again already. Which other one was it?
I mean, it says he's in Last Action Hero. Maybe it's that one.
No way. I'd love it if that was the one.
Maybe it's that. I'm sure there's another one. But no, it might only be 6. I might have confused him with a Seagal, which he wouldn't like at all.
He really would not be appreciative.
He really would not. We can count Last Action Hero, but yes, this would be the 6th mainline Van Damme.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. That's got to be the most we've done of any actor, I would think.
Well, it'll be him and Cage, won't it? It will be the...
Yeah.
Stallone's up there as well, though. We've done a few Stallones.
We have done a few Stallones, yeah, we have.
Don't ask me to don't ask me to do those ones.
So, I'm sure you lads are wondering why Nowhere to Run. So, I was in Woolworths in St Helens in 1990, possibly 5, 6, maybe.
Do you want to put Woolworths into context for the younger listeners?
Sorry. Woolworths is a now defunct sort of department store that used to do a fine line in toys and VHS and
pick and mix,
and home goods, like that kind of stuff. It was really nice. I used to love going to Woolworths. It was way good.
Woolworths was great. My mum bought me and my brother some Ryan Giggs sunballs from Woolworths when we... The design of those where you put on some like tasty shades and a ball was attached on a string to the front of the sunglasses.
Yeah.
So if you kicked it really hard, it would just spring back and smack you in the face.
Rumour has it that's how he used to distract Rodri to get him out. Yeah.
Right, yeah. I was going to say Ryan's done enough with his balls. Anyway, so yeah, I got Nowhere to Run because obviously I was a JCVD nut and hadn't seen it. The poster was like flames and JCVD on a motorbike, and it was like, whoa, sheesh, boom, give me that. And took it home and watched it and found it curious back then, even at the age of, what would I have been, 13, 14, found it curious.
Not as young as Mookie then. Not as young as Mookie.
We'll get to flipping Mookie. It stuck in my memory as like, this isn't like an action film.
No.
But what else is it? I don't, like, it thinks it might be other things, but it's not. And I knew that even at 13, 14, that this film was quite muddled in what it wanted to be, but had some great action, some great JCVD moments, and latterly, in my grown-up years, I've noticed that it's got a great deal of unintentional humour, which I was really excited to talk to you guys about. So it's been, aside from the watch that I did yesterday and today, it's been probably, I would say, 10, 12, maybe even 15 years since I've seen this all the way through in one go.
I thought you were going to say 10, 15 viewings.
No. But lads, what is your relationship with Nowhere to Run?
I watched it for the very first time this lunchtime with a corned beef balm.
Just as JCVD would have wanted.
Yeah,
I want my northern friends to watch my movie with a corned beef balm.
And I didn't even rent it. I recorded it off the telly, off the very real great exclamation point movies action channel, which is I have access to on the Virgin box. It's a real channel. They play a lot of Resident Evil movies. on there as well. So yeah, if you want to dig into that sort of swill, you can get on it. Yeah,
I was disappointed you didn't go through. I guess we'll wait until you finished all of the Resident Evil films before you can tell us.
Well, I've done the first 3 in the original run, and Extinction's really good. I'm just girding my loins for the Return of the King in Paul W.S. Anderson for the 4th one. Because he didn't direct the 2 in between, did he? He directed the first one, yeah. I mean, it's very much his franchise.
He comes back with a bang.
Yeah.
He certainly does.
Was it in SD? Sounds like it might have been.
Oh, yeah. It's probably in pan and scan as well, to be honest.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah, no. As it was supposed to be seen on a 90s VHS tape.
So you watched it like
I watched it and it's in
saw it?
I watched it in its authentic presentation mode.
What about you, Si?
Yeah, first time watched it.
Right, get out. This can't be...
I had to watch it. Honestly, I'd never heard of this one. Bizarrely,
really?
Yeah. And then I started watching it this morning on the train in, and then
again the way the JCVD was intended.
and then it was in HD on my little phone. I just held it really close to my face, and then watched the rest of it just before jumping on with you guys. Squeezed it in around my hectic work schedule, but. I did watch it, but yeah, first watch. Went in cold with this one.
Wow, came out extremely warm, I'd have thought.
Well, yes.
So this is very interesting that we've got obviously me with a JCVD film that I'm not quite sure about, and you guys with a first watch with it as well.
Yeah,
risky business.
There's plenty of that in this film as well. Let's just make it very clear. So I assumed it qualified because it's a slept-on 1993 JCVD movie, but was it on the figures? Was it on the critics' reception? James, budget and box office, was it this?
So Nowhere to Run opened January 15th, 1993, so getting a year off to a bang there with a proper dumpuary action movie. It played in 1,745 theatres in its opening weekend. The film made $8 million on that opening weekend and opened at number 4 behind Aladdin, which was in its 10th week. A Few Good Men's 6th week, and the story of the Uruguayan rugby team that crashed in the in the mountains alive first weekend. So JCVD couldn't even beat him beat them, the cannibals, at the box office.
Wow.
The film finally grossed $22 million in the United States and Canada. It performed much better internationally, grossing $41.9 million in other territories for a worldwide gross of $64 million against a budget of $15 million. So a sort of a soft hit, I would say. Probably broke even.
Good. Oh, that's really exciting, that.
Yeah, it does strike me as one of those films where it was like, let's just make some easy money.
Yes.
Definitely strikes me as one of those films.
That's interesting. I didn't really know, yeah. And I like that new expression, soft hit. Like, yeah.
Yeah, not doing gang... Because I was looking at JCVD's IMDb, and this is his first, this is made by Columbia, isn't it? Or at least distributed by them. This is his first sort of, mainstream crossover one. You've had the 80s stuff of Kickboxer and Bloodsport, which we've all discussed as basically the same movie twice. And then Double Impact is sort of did well, but it was not, as far as I can remember, wasn't really made by a major studio or anything like that. And then he rips off this one, Hard Target and Time Cop, back to back. So we're almost at the peak of JCVD here at this stage of his career.
This is definitely on the trajectory, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, what a year for JCVD! Nowhere to Run and Hard Target the same year.
Unbelievable.
If we go back, right? So, wow, look at this! Whoa, what a run he's on! Right, sorry, this is ridiculous. Right, okay. So he's in. Let's just go from 1990. He's in AWOL and Death Warrant in 1990. He's in Double Impact in 91. Universal Soldier in 92. Nowhere to Run, Last Action Hero and Hard Target in 93.
Wow, good year for JCVD.
You can't argue with that.
Yeah.
Time Cop 94.
Yeah.
Street Fighter 94.
Yeah, but then this is when it starts to go wrong, isn't it?
Well, I'm not sure it is, because Sudden Death came out in 95.
Slight Recovery and Friends. He was in an episode of Friends as well. So
he was.
But then he makes the fatal error of going off and directing his own picture, The Quest.
The Quest with Roger Moore. Let's not forget that.
Oh my god.
Can you imagine two more wooden actors interacting
Right,
with
get
each
out, James. We're not having that. That's banned from this podcast.
Just a boulder chatting with a sentient coat hanger. Just
right. But you are right, because The Quest was bad. Yeah. So it does kick off. So Maximum Risk is good. I like that. We might do that, actually. That's 96, Double Team 97, Knockoff 98, Legionnaire 98.
Knockoff, that's the Rob Schneider one, isn't it, with the fake jeans?
It is, yeah. And then everything goes really bad. He even does a movie in 2002 called Derailed.
Where does Double Team fit in all that? What year was Double Team?
Double Team is 1997.
97. Yeah. That's one we could do as well. That's a good one.
Oh, we definitely could do that one.
Yeah.
So we've discussed the main man JCVD and his career. What did the critics say about Nowhere to Run? So
I mean, you're in luck, Rob, because we'd have to turn off the record because it did quite well in the box office.
Well, yes.
But no,
yes.
Of course, it didn't really set the world alight on release in terms of the critics. Reflected in some pretty bad averages, actually, from our usual crickets.
Really?
Particularly on Rotten Tomatoes, it's got 36% on the critics and 33% for audience, so it's even lower on the audience score on that particular aggregator. Slightly better on Metacritic with a 41 for the critics and a 6.1 on the audience scale. So yeah, into the green on that one, just about.
Nice.
Letterboxd has it as 2.8, so pretty standard for Letterboxd, I think.
Standard fare.
The big news, however, and it has been a while. It's been a long while, too long.
No.
The Sheriff is back.
Oh yes, yes, the return.
Yes, of course, Mick LaSalle did indeed review the film. I think this was also Mick LaSalle's peak, 93, 94.
Sorry, Mick, I don't endorse that. You're still knocking it out the park.
No, yes, I love you, Mick. No, yeah, he did review the film, and quite favourably, actually, saying that director Robert Harmon brought a few fresh touches to the basic action movie style. He said that on the way to giving it a respectable 2.5 out of 4. So, 3 stars? You know, that was kind of the one of the higher, the more positive.
Still reviews. Quite harrowing if that's the
I know, yeah. No, it really was.
Love you, Mick.
Yeah, it's great to have a bit of Mick insight back. Nick Funnell of Time Out. No rating on this one, but Rotten Tomatoes class it as a fresh review, so I will take that. When Van Damme is doing what he does best, narcissistically displaying his body and thumping the bad guys, the film works reasonably well. Another review, average review from Entertainment Weekly. I've only got average reviews, I'm sorry. Entertainment Weekly gave it 3 stars, saying Nowhere to Run is about as believable as Bigfoot. For you, Rob. But
is that really what they said?
Yeah. Nowhere to Run is about as believable as Bigfoot, but the most soulful of action heroes holds the screen with his beefy presence. And yes, there is an obligatory bare butt shot, which is everyone's favourite bit.
Who wrote that? Sorry, again.
I don't know. It's just Entertainment Weekly, and I tried to get the original article, but it wouldn't. I couldn't find it, so I don't know who said that. Some staff writer at Entertainment Weekly. 3 stars.
Because that ticked an awful lot of things that we talk about. JCVD's bare bum, Bigfoot, beefy sensitivity.
Beefy present. The only thing missing was double denim and fresh tones. But yeah, I mean, I don't really want to entertain the negative reviews because there was a lot of negative reviews. Everyone thought it was really sort of by the numbers. Eebs did not like it at all, did not care for it at all. I think he gave it 1 star. Generally, the 3 I've pulled out there were the only positive critical reviews.
Wow.
The rest were not kind to Nowhere to Run.
So when I think back to the film, and now I hear what you just said with fresh ears, is that a thing? I can totally understand actually why, like the wider movie going critical fraternity would think, yeah, I would find, yeah.
Well, like I say, it does definitely feel like just a let's just make some money. Let's chuck in 15 million. We're definitely going to at least double it.
Yeah.
So let's just it's like the cog of Hollywood, isn't it? Just churning.
Well, I love this. Now let's get a soft hit.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well,
let's just make a soft hit.
It's better business at the end of the day. Let's make some money.
It is the very definition of a dumpuary movie. So, like, all the Oscar films have... No, this is a term in the film industry. Like, yeah, in America, yeah. Like, all the stuff that the studio doesn't really have a lot of faith in, they put out in January and February, basically, when all the awards chatter's going on elsewhere. And they just go, right, we'll put it out there because nothing else comes out during that period and it might make a little bit of money. Basically, yeah. So, like, a good example of that this year was The Beekeeper, starring Jason Statham. Yes. So, yeah, very much.
Was that David Ayer? Did David Ayer direct?
Yeah. What has happened to him at all?
What has happened to him? Suicide Squad has melted his brain, I think. It's just completely ruined him.
I mean, it's fine, The Beekeeper. It wasn't as good as I hoped it would be. But some absolutely great puns in there.
Well, much like Nowhere to Run with the one-liners.
Yeah.
Out of place one-liners as well.
They have, yeah.
So
I think,
out of place.
I mean, it's going to be a fine line whether these just are terrible, or they add to the sort of like the overall folly. And we do like a folly.
So, can I give you a bit of additional context around the
I want as much as
the development of this project, basically. So you'll probably notice that trash auteur of the 80s and 90s Joe Esterhaus has a writing credit on this. So the script was originally written by Joe Esterhaus and Richard Marquand of Return of the Jedi fame. It was originally down as a film called Pals, which evolved into Nowhere to Run, and was a character-driven drama without action sequences, the only retaining element being an escaped convict who falls in love with a neighbouring widow and becomes a father figure to her children. Esterhaus disowned the final product. So...
I mean, he is the writer of Showgirls, so
I know,
you have to.
He went, I've done some crap in my time, but this is beyond the pale, yeah.
Pals! What an awful title!
It might have just been a working title.
I mean, come on.
And they had their sights set very high initially with this project. So the role of Sam, iconically played by JCVD here, was originally meant for Mel Gibson, who is the biggest movie star in the world at the time. One of.
Mel Gibson in Pals.
Would he have directed it himself at that stage as well? Probably.
He might have done.
No, he hadn't made Braveheart by that point.
Was
that 96? Was it Braveheart?
Yeah.
Well, he might have used this. He might have used Pals to cut his directorial teeth. Good grief! How lucky we are that it panned out the way it did. Then.
Jeez Louise.
In an alternate universe, what a mess.
I've also got another tidbit here. I mean, it doesn't seem like anybody really enjoyed working on this movie. So Rosanna Arquette disliked working with Jean-Claude Van Damme and stated in many interviews that she only took the role because good parts were few and far between.
Oh no!
And even the man himself, JCVD, dissing the project. So Jean-Claude Van Damme later said, "The script was not that good. The writer told me he was going to fix everything. I was in his house, he shook my hand, he promised me, but he didn't fix it."
He was in his house? What? We broke in the night. Are you going to make this movie better?
Stealing salt and said, "Are you going to fix this script or not?"
If I'm in his house and he's asking me if I'm going to make the script better, of course I'm going to go, yeah, Jean-Claude, yeah, definitely, 100%, more definitely going to do this.
Don't hit me with one of your special kicks.
Oh, Jesus.
One of your special kicks? Karate. Big legs.
And your
boyfriend. There's a lot of big legs going on. Your boyfriend.
I mean, we'll get into it, obviously, but the script is just like all the other 90s action movies, isn't it? I didn't think it was particularly... I mean, it's obviously by standards, if I'm putting it against Schindler's List.
Same year. What's going on?
but it's whatever. Yeah, fine. I'm not going into this for the pros. Do you know what I mean?
Well, but sometimes, obviously, at one stage, I think the writers were thinking that. I mean, obviously, I'm absolutely delighted that you can very easily connect Ewoks to JCVD. I mean, that's such, a quiz question. How do you connect Ewoks to JCVD? It feels weird. Watching this film feels weird. It doesn't, I think it's all lost in the pudding. Pudding? I don't think that's an expression, is it?
Yeah.
I think it's we'll obviously, we will get into it, audience, I promise. but when you've got a movie that was hoping to be one thing, hoping to be pals, and then suddenly it gets...
I think that might just be a working title.
I'm running with it. I am absolutely running with that. And then it's now got one of the biggest action stars in the world at the time in it. They're obviously going to repurpose it to include some butt being kicked. So can we dive in?
Yeah, let's get in. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The movie starts with the really lovely Columbia Pictures logo from the 90s, and we have a load of inmates on a bus, and it's it's shot. The movie's shot really nicely. So no quibble there.
Let's get that out of the way first. I agree. I think it's a really this kind of sort of lends itself to what I was saying about let's just make a film to make money. It's shot really well. The lighting is great. Yeah. The camera work's really great in a lot of it as well. It's just really in terms of the crew and everything like that. It was obviously a solid crew who just turned up to work and did a really good job of
I mean, it shouldn't be a compliment to say this is competently made, but some of the slop you see coming out these days.
It's true. There's quite a bit of invention as well.
This was not shot on a backlot in Atlanta, was it? No, or in the volume.
But one of the main, and obviously there are scenes as the film goes on which are kind of great examples of this. But it's actually nice to watch a film that's just lit well.
Yeah,
100% on celluloid. Oh, it's gorgeous.
And then there's a lot of films now are just lit so badly, and it's so dull and so dreary. And if it's nighttime, you got no chance, can't see anything. So it was watching this film and all the night scenes in it, and the sort of desert bits and stuff, and you just looks really nice. I'm quite enjoying this.
Yeah, no, I agree. I totally agree, and I think they made the really good use of the location shoot.
Yeah.
Really great panoramics, really great landscapes, good sense of place. Still don't know where we are in America. Could be absolutely anywhere.
It plays nicely into the idea that it's a bit of a Western, though, isn't it? Like an updated Western where a stranger rolls into town and sorts out the good-for-nothing landowners.
He doesn't actually make it into town until much later in the movie.
No.
Sort of loiters pervertedly on
he's very perverted.
When he's working on his motorcycle. Why does he say it like that in that one moment?
There's no there's no way he'd actually
just so Ted Levine can start bullying him in the
that was definitely an ad-lib from Ted Levine, wasn't it? Made him feel really small.
What now? Sorry,
what did you say?
So there's a bus going through the desert. I mean, desert and forest seems very close here, but I don't know anything
rolling
about
hills.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so this could be very feasible. I've got no idea. They're going through an arid landscape, and like an old muscle car is going along next to it, and pulls up in front of this bus or swerves in front of it, causing it to abruptly flip.
Good flip as well. Good stunt.
Great stunt. And all the guys inside are still attached by their handcuffs to the manacles or whatever. I expected more limbs being ripped off at this point, given how violently that bus flipped. It's a ruse to break a particular prisoner out. JCVD, who's on the bus.
Well, I was watching this going like, is it like Con Air where JCVD is just like he's like wrongly imprisoned on this bus and he's just going to make the best out of this situation of like one of the wrong-uns is getting broke out. And it's like, oh no, he's getting broken out. It's like, is he a good guy in this?
No, there's absolutely no evidence that he's a good guy in this, and he's part of the duplicity in one of the least convincing. Like he's playing possum moments ever. Hey, come here, my leg. Right, God, there's no way you're not going over there. Also, terrible planning from the prison people. 2 guards, both overweight.
No convoy. There's no like supporting convoy, just on its own.
40 prisoners on a bus
in the desert. Like
this is easy. No wonder our boy Anthony Stark flew in and thought this was the perfect time to break out JCVD. I think Anthony Stark just swans in and steals the movie.
Like in the 3 minutes he's in it.
Yeah. Comes in. Much more interesting and enigmatic presence than anybody else, and then gets shot in the neck as they're driving away.
Who is this guy? American Sniper, this guard. He hits him.
He was like, he should be in the Olympics or something. Incredible aim, like a tubby guard, just like
after being knocked unconscious by
useless at everything else.
By JCVD, your face, bang!
Oh, that was it. What's broken? Your leg, your arm, your face. What a line! And already we know we're in hilarious territory.
Well, you're in hilarious territory, and you're like, oh, he's a wrong gun. Van Damme's a wrong gun in this, smashing the guard's face.
You're like, it's quite earnest, but supremely cheesy. Where are we here?
The sunset burial is absolutely spectacular to look at.
Really is.
Gorgeous.
Michael Bay's based his entire shooting style on this one shot.
Well, he is, but he was also in the movie, so we got to forgive that.
Yes.
I was going to say, because he obviously got his inspiration for his hairstyle from the movie as well.
Well, he did. No, I think this is where he picked up his entire repertoire by playing Lonnie in the movie, the police dweeb.
The crooked cook cougar.
So Van Damme, I mean, he's out. He is in double denim at this point.
He is. I did notice that, Rob. There's
a few occasions where we see the double denim, but not weirdly when he's camping in the woods.
Is it
would
fair
be
to
an
say,
appropriate time.
I don't. The wardrobe choice during the woodland scenes. I don't know what to say about any of it.
I think I have a theory on this. The wardrobe department. There was a sale on at JCVD's because everyone's in really cheap suits for the whole sale. All the dodgy land people are all in dodgy suits. And then JCVD's just innocuously in a suit while he's camping in the desert.
There's absolutely no reason. I don't like. So a little like there's a thing is played, like a tape played. Like, hey, if you're listening to this,
I'm dead.
I'm dead. I'm dead. Hope you like the suit I picked up for you. Why? Why did you pick? Why did you pick out a suit?
Have you packed a tent? So we're going off the grid and a suit. Yeah.
What am I doing with these items?
Give me some walking shoes and a nice pair of combat trousers, please.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Gucci loafers as much as the next fella, but not when I'm out in the wilderness.
I have no. I mean, the suit thing is entirely forgotten, like not long after. But my word, does our boy, and we what's his name? Sam. Do we ever find out his name?
Sam Gillan.
Sam Gillan.
From Quebec.
From Quebec, yeah. I just love that theme in all the Jean-Claude Van Damme movies where he's from like Canada to explain his accent.
Well, in Hard Target, he's from New Orleans, don't they?
New Orleans,
they have the Cajun, but they never bothered with that with Schwarzenegger, did they? This is Brian, the All-American mattress.
Howard Langston. This is Howard Langston. Jamie,
he's as American as apple pie.
We definitely mentioned this in the Jingle All the Way episode. That is the joke. That it's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes,
and he's called Howard Langston. And he's a mattress salesman.
You're my number one customer.
It's funny how they did never bother with Arnie, but they change shooting locations to explain Jean-Claude Van Damme's accent.
Yeah.
Do you reckon Van Damme has Canadian citizenship at this stage? Because he must have played a Canadian 400 times.
Like honorary. We know you've never set foot on Canadian soil, Jean-Claude, but... So he's in the woods in a suit, and he makes choices that a man on the run should not be making, i.e., oh, look, there's a farmhouse over there. Just going to break in.
My steak needs salt.
My steak needs salt. I don't even know, like, some of this stuff goes out, surely, in an earlier draft, but as we've known from the origins of the film, that it was obviously meant to be something else, and this might be a hangover from that.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's a definite tension between it being an action vehicle for JCVD and a sensitive drama about an ex-con connecting with with a widow and children.
Because I was watching this bit, and I think I was giving the film too much credit, because I was like, I was assuming he was going back to see his wife and kids, like in Time Cop, where he goes to see them.
Lovely.
So that's what I thought. He was like, he's going to see his kids and blah, blah, blah. And then it was like, it's like, he's looking at his wife getting naked in the bath.
This is what you thought during that time.
Yeah, and I was like, you little scamp. And then I was like, oh no, he's not. He doesn't know these people at all.
He's a peeping Tom.
He's just perving on these people.
He's horrendous, and but he moves like it's not like, oh heck, I've accidentally seen her getting undressed. I must move. He's like, hang on, I'm going to switch windows for a better view.
Well, I mean, it's in the 90s.
He's horrendous. This is not hero behaviour. Classic, it's not traditional hero behaviour.
No, but classic 90s titties for y'all.
Yeah.
Well,
I've labelled this section of the film as boobies and B&E.
What's B&E?
Breaking an entry.
Sorry. Also, to use another acronym, can we, after possibly a 60-episode hiatus, can we bring back the RSDCU?
You'll have to remind me what that is.
Remind me what that is.
The Red Shoe Diary Cinematic Universe.
Oh yeah,
of course. No, it is. It's definitely of that ilk, and also
later, especially.
It's just so funny how these films have the same like structure. So you've got to get some titties in the first 10-15 minutes.
It's so babyish.
But don't give too much away. And then around the hour mark, you want to go full in, sexy. Just complete with a Spanish guitar in the background.
Also, the lighting in all these scenes is fabulous. By the way.
No, the lighting is really good, particularly at night around the barn where it's got like it's got like a lovely like. There's a bit where he's kind of obviously he's hiding in a shadow around the corner of something like spying on someone, and there's a lovely like just strip of light in the background going through the cars and the barn and just showing all. And it's just like, this is really well lit. This is brilliant lighting.
It's good.
Can any modern filmmakers please watch this film?
To show Nowhere to Run being a key
fucking
text.
night scene. Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, it's good because they light the scene. They don't just light the vague area of where the camera's pointing.
I love that.
It's good.
So he's gone to the house and he's looking around it. And I never thought that there would be blatant E.T. references in a JCVD movie, but they are. They even say it in the film. So he's mooching about, unwanted visitor, unknown visitor.
Like E.T. Like
E.T., yeah.
A pervert, like E.T. Sneaking around the edge of the property. He sees the kids playing. He sees the mum getting undressed, goes around the corner to get a better look at that. And then, so things go quiet. So he's like, I assumed at this point, no, he's seen what it's all about. He's seen what he needs to see. He's going to leave. No, he opens the back door. Straight in, goes in, has a look around. What's he looking for? And I know it's the salt, but it's so stupid. And then he walks in. Have you ever seen anyone less proficient at navigating lamps than Sam Dillon in this film? Trashing lamps
the slammer for a few years. Leave him alone.
What, he's not been round any ornate table lamps in a while. He just can't see. Oh, God. Oh, dear. I don't know what he's doing. Mookie hears it, though. Right, can we talk about these kids' names?
Baby Romulus.
It's so good that the kid in this was not you, Rob, because you'd have come downstairs with a sledgehammer if you thought E.T. was in there.
I'd have come down. I wouldn't have come down. I'd have screamed from the bedroom.
Well, I think one of the highlights of the movie is old Romulus Roy. I think he's an absolute delight in this film.
Yeah, I mean, doing the finest work of his career in this particular picture.
Is it the same Culkin as Fuller who wets the bed in?
It is, yeah.
Greatness.
Yeah.
Greatness.
They obviously went to Macaulay first and couldn't get him.
Was that when it was still with
We'll
Mel
give
Gibson?
you one of the younger ones. Do you want to be in
it's
pals
like Macaulay's
with Mel Gibson?
like, if Gibson's doing it, then I'll sign on. But if it's going to be a JCVD vehicle, you can have the B-level version of me.
He's in a suit still.
Yeah,
in this,
it's absolutely insane. I mean, Billy is not only did Billy get JCVD incarcerated through his own idiocy, he's completing it when he's
shafted
from beyond the grave, basically.
Yeah.
What's going to make you less conspicuous? Oh, have you seen that guy hanging around the woods? Oh no, what does he look like? Oh, yeah.
He's in a suit.
If he was in, he's in a suit.
He's in a suit in the woods.
Just don't trust nomads in suits. There's a guy rocking around Shoreditch. He's been doing it for about 20 years in a suit, and he's like his spiel is that he's lost his mobile and he needs some money for the phone for the phone booth. So it's like don't have those anymore, mate. And he's just like, oh, I've just been to a business meeting, and it's like he's a haggard suit he's been wearing for like 20 years, just ripped and everything, and he's like, you say no to him, and he's like, oh, fuck off it, you can't. Well, that took a turn. You're a man about town in your suit. And it's just an aggressive hobo. Not as gorgeous as Van Damme, obviously.
Well, and he's looking very good in this film. I think it's fair to say.
Oh, yeah.
This is a real peak for vagrancy on screen, isn't it? Sexy vagrancy.
Is it sexy? Right. We all saw what it said on Amazon Prime about the sort of the buzzwords associated with this movie, and if I could just reiterate some of these crackerjacks.
The key words on the genre of the movie.
Yes. So it says on there, nowhere to run. Action superstar Jean-Claude Van Damme has nowhere to run. Thanks for that. And nothing to lose. 4.5 stars. Very good. IMDb 5.7. Genres. Suspense, romance, ominous, passionate.
Passionate. I did laugh when I saw the passionate. But then I watched the movie and I understood. So...
So Van Damme's gone back out into the woods.
He's in a pond now, isn't he? He's bathing in the.
Well, no, this is slightly. We've missed one of the most funny scenes ever.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So he goes back and he's just chilling, fully clothed in a suit, thumbing through a porn magazine.
Oh yeah, top heavy.
Top heavy, yes. Oh no, and. Again, not very subtle. He's on the edge of a lake. Obviously, there's open air for him to be seen. He's using a torch to read the porn magazine. fully clothed. There's nothing else in the tent bag. No sleeping bag. Doesn't need one of them. He sleeps in his suit, as we've seen. And Mookie comes in.
He's followed him from the house.
Yeah, he's not surprised that JCVD isn't an alien. He's just like, you like boobs? That's ridiculous.
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. Have you ever heard a more indifferent? I mean, obviously, quite later, a little bit later in the film, he's very not indifferent to boobies.
No, he's. I think he was playing it a bit cool with Mookie. He loves them. Can't get enough.
Well, the only reading material he has for his little camping adventure is an issue of Top Heavy. So of course he does.
Did he buy that in the convenience store when he was threatening the clerk earlier?
He must have limited money as well, and rather than food and drink, he buys a jazz bag.
Right, so this is what he's got. Steaks.
Steak as well. Spending all his money on some high-end steaks. Oh, Jesus.
But what I like about this is, like, now if you grew up in the 90s, there was always a phenomenon of wood smut, where you'd find, like, smutty magazines in the woods around you.
Yes. Now we know where it
I
comes
want
from.
to think they're now being left by men on the lam. Wanted fugitives hanging out in the woods in three-piece suits. With nothing but steak and jazz mags to keep them company.
Not even a sleeping bag. Just
in his full suit with a jazz bag.
He sleeps under the
And
bag.
carry a bag of raw steak.
Where is he refrigerating the steak?
That's just off meat. It's just a big bag of off meat.
Oh, God.
So they strike up an unlikely friendship somehow over their collective indifference of boobies. I don't know. Anyway, Mookie doesn't like them. Sorry, Mookie says, I think they're gross. Yeah. Totally gross. Great writing.
But, like, and then he goes, I'll see you tomorrow, Sam. It's like they're on first name terms already.
Yeah,
it's like I won't be here. He rocks up, like, so JCVD doesn't think, right, I've attracted the local children. It's probably not good for me to be hanging out around here as a wanted criminal. Right, I'll get up and I'll get moving. But no, he's just having a nice lazy morning in the swimming hole.
Yeah.
No towel, so he's going to have to air dry.
Profound awkwardness of a high order. Because Mookie returns while he's bathing, soon followed by his sister Bree. The names on this family are absolutely out of hand. I don't know what to do with any of these. Mookie. I mean, can we just...
That was Spike Lee's character in Do the Right Thing.
His name's Chris and Nay Rob. He wasn't a called me.
No, so Van Damme shows his junk to these kids.
I love how Van Damme's like happy to get out of the pond when it's just a boy there, and then he sees the kid. It's like, oh yeah, I don't mind showing what I've got to this this primary school age boy. But as soon as the girl, he runs back in.
Can you imagine, like in a little bit?
You shouldn't be doing that in front of any children. No, Jean-Claude.
In a little bit, like, you know, oh, this spectacularly good-looking guy's here. This is the mum. Like, so Mookie, you seem to know him. How do you know him? Like, oh, he's the fellow who lived down by the lake reading jazz mags and showing us his winkle pick. Like, right, that's not.
No questions asked from Rosanna Arquette. No.
Obviously, you get a first good look at JCVD's
parenting in the 90s is just...
Dreadful. Well, it's letting him roam the grounds and looking at men's wangs.
And then not asking so much as a question when it's brought up at the dinner table.
Right, don't.
I mean, it was a benefit to us to see his gorgeous arse, though. Because
again, it's like you said, in his like we've said countless times before. Surely it's contractual. JCVD gets his bum out in movies,
and I know we've said this on a previous JCVD film, but this is him at his most handsome. I think he's an absolute babe in this one. Because Hard Target, he's got like his big greasy mullet, and he's a bit more rough. In this, he's just like he's got a lovely, gorgeous haircut, hot bod, lovely buns. Great. This is a beautiful man.
I think this is peak levels.
Beautiful man.
Yeah.
Of JCVD.
Also, he's lit spectacularly in this film.
Well, yes, he is. I've said it before. I'll say it again. The lighting in this film is very good. I enjoyed the that side of things very much as the water glistened off his behind.
But so these kids have got obviously the mom, who is Clydie, another great name. Who is, no offense to Clydie's out there, sorry. It's
not a real name. I'd be amazed.
It seems that way. It seems like from the Mookie school of naming. So she has her own problems. This terrible land issue that's going on, which JCVD. There's a huge earthquake kind of thing, but there's loads of demolition going on because these people, led by Joss Ackland and head of security Ted
Diplomatic
Levine.
Immunity. From Lethal Weapon 2.
Yes.
It's a great cast.
It is a good cast. And he is determined to get Clydie's home, so to complete some big grand land plan that we don't really know about. But it's not important.
Specifics, not important. Just need it. And I need Buffalo Bill himself to get her off the land. Well, was she a big fat person?
No, with magic tricks this time.
Oh yeah, gorgeous.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, we don't need to go into every beat. You know what's going on here. I think we've covered some significant question marks.
Well, JCVD basically becomes part of the family, doesn't he?
Somehow, yes. I don't know how.
First he's sleeping in the barn, and then he's like just helping out around the house.
The kids are so keen for their mum to get laid. I've never seen anything.
Yeah,
I've never seen anything like that.
Is he sleeping in your bed? Woo!
Yeah.
And then later on, when he does, fist bumps.
Is he going to rock your world better than Lonnie does? Because we hear that, and it doesn't sound like Lonnie's getting the job done, Mum. Such a perfectly normal dynamic.
There's that point in the film where he's in the shower and Lonnie finds him in the shower.
Michael Bay.
And then Clydie comes in and gets an eye full of Quebecian dong. So she's... And she becomes interested after seeing that. And then there's that really awkward conversation around the table where the daughter says
this should never be repeated again.
Where the daughter says that he's got a big penis.
And she says, "No, I've had plenty, and it's average."
Yeah, she goes, "Oh, it's an average penis." And then there's a bit of tabletop banter between.
I mean, how old are these kids? What, 7 and 6, 6 and 8, maybe at a stretch?
Oh, very young. Probably younger than that.
I mean,
4 and 6 or something.
Should never. This dialogue is heinous. It's absolutely the girl. So there's 4 of them around the dinner table.
Everything that's going on with the adults and the children in this movie is completely unacceptable.
It's messed up beyond repair. And the little girl just offers well, he's got a big penis. What? No. And the mum is initially coy. Oh, Brie, this is terrible. What? Oh, you can't. He's got an average penis. He's got an average.
Well,
penis.
I mean, I know he disowned the movie, but when it's written by the guy who did Basic Instinct, you're gonna take that angle, aren't you? Writing children from a 50-odd-year-old bloke.
There's no way.
The 90s, nobody will have. This will have gone through all the execs at the studio and director.
Yeah, fine.
Everyone's like, is this all above board? All okay? Is it all right with the kids' parents?
Oh, cool kids' parents are fine. Counting the Benjamins off screen as he's saying these horrendous lines. They don't care.
Cool kids explaining everything she saw him washing. Oh, well,
Yeah, everyone's just all above board. Let's just make sure the kids are out of here by the wrap time, and yeah.
Yeah.
What are we doing? I quite like in the climactic showdown, they shove the girl in the like pantry cupboard because clearly she'd like ran over for that day and they needed to get, they couldn't shoot anymore.
Yes.
So she doesn't have to be in the scene anymore. Put her in the cupboard.
Come here, I'm not going to hurt her. Get in there. Boom. Well, it's gone for days.
It's good. I mean, obviously, because I'm very stupid when I'm watching movies, and I obviously didn't twig about it's a modern Western, because of course it is. Like, this story is exactly what it is. So he gets enamoured with the family, and they get enamoured with him, don't they? And they bond over, like, some home movies and what have you, and she realises that she could do better than Michael Bay. And that's how she gets it.
Who's also crooked and working for the land developer.
Who's in cahoots with the land developers, so he's a wrong 'un as well.
Well, definitely.
And then that's just kind of what it just turns into him protecting her and her neighbours from this developer, because he saves some guy from a barn fire, doesn't he? After
yes,
he fights some henchmen. He fights a JCB. He saves a guy and some horses from a burning barn.
Breaks a few arms.
I would say this middle stretch, there's not enough happening for me. Like, and this is only a 95-minute movie. There's not enough action beats for me in this JCVD action vehicle.
Yeah.
When the music is predominantly solemn Spanish guitar, then it's not hitting those action beats, is it?
No.
But I mean, there's like annoying sort of flashes of a good action scene, and he does sort of do some roundhouse kicks, but it's not.
You know what? I was actually actively looking out for this. He doesn't kick anyone in this.
He doesn't kick anyone. He just punches people.
No,
he hits people with sticks, and he hits someone with a big stick, and then says, "Strike 3, you're out."
Yeah,
which just comes out of absolutely nowhere.
It was so clearly ADR'd after as well, like, because it's from the above.
No
like,
setup for it whatsoever. He just says, straight, it's like, all right, where does that come from?
Again, enjoying it.
Baseball big in Quebec, is it?
I don't know.
There you go.
You know what he does quite a lot of in this film? Throat strikes and open palm strikes.
Nice, yeah.
Which I enjoy.
Maybe he was carrying an injury. Maybe he had a tight hammy or something.
He doesn't do any splits, does he? Which is usually the trademark.
No splits, no roundhouses.
No karate.
That is it.
No karate, no special kicks.
None of your special kicks.
Not what I want from a JCVD picture, to be honest.
I don't all this introspective, sensitive, like, I do want boobies, I don't want boobies.
Right. If you want somebody to emote, go and get Daniel Day-Lewis. If you're getting JCVD, I don't want to see Daniel Day-Lewis doing roundhouses any more than I want to see JCVD playing surrogate father to this family in the wilderness.
Can I ask, do either of you at any stage in this film buy the relationship between Clyde and Sam?
No.
No, considering that Passion is listed on Amazon Prime, there is a distinct lack of it between the two central protagonists.
There is. It's funny, I don't really know where the blame lies, because I feel like it's the film's got no idea what it is. I think...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, totally.
In a lot of ways, it's actually miscast across the board, apart from Culkin. And Joss Ackland and Ted Levine.
Ted Levine's quite good in it. I do like it. He's a good sleazy villain with his little magic tricks and his lovely blue eyes.
And the thing is, like, he made Silence of the Lambs 2 or 3 years before this. He's not phoning it in. He's like, oh yeah, I was doing scenes with Jodie Foster in the Best Picture winner a few years ago. But I'll get involved with your JCVD movie and I'll carry him through scenes, no problem.
Yeah. Those scenes were really good between them two. I enjoyed them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, he's definitely like one of the plus points of the film. But I think after that like hour, when you get this, the weird domestic situation storyline of the developers, it was a bit of a drag. But then when the cops caught on to getting him, I quite like this chase, to be honest. When he fixes the bike, I was like, there's some good action stuff going on now. Finally.
So he spent 20 minutes, like fixing the bike up and whatnot, and smooching with the widow, and all that good stuff, and everything seems fine. And then the movie suddenly remembers that actually he's a wanted criminal who's escaped from prison, so and the film's called Nowhere to Run, even though he's just been sort of like lollygagging around for 4 weeks on this farm.
with acres to run.
Yeah, nowhere to run, but loads of places to hide and chill out.
Yeah. And then they're like, oh, right, okay, so Michael Bay dobs him in to Clydie. What a stupid name, honestly. And then he's like, no, I'm not a murderer. I'm a bank robber.
That's comforting. Thank you.
Did you kill him? Did you kill a man? A man did die.
Directly. My actions led to him being murdered, though, by Billy. Have I told you about Billy?
Did you kill a man? Yeah, kind of.
Not directly.
Would you hate me if I did?
This is all still filed under, do you believe their relationship? No, I don't.
And then he's like, oh, right, okay, well, I better go because I'm just going to get arrested and it's going to upset Kieran Culkin something terrible. It's very Jerry Maguire, isn't he? Like, he only cares about the kid, really. He's not really
only one of the kids. He didn't care about the other one.
Yeah, only one kid, yeah.
Oh, no.
No.
Yeah, girls, no.
I'd rather not speak to the girl. She is named for a cheese. I thought some of you were mentioning then, Si, about the sort of like running from the police bit on the Triumph. Doing like dirt bike stuff on the Triumph, I've never seen that before. Like that lovely big motorbike, like almost like, well, I don't know anything about motorbikes, but like it seemed like a muscle car equivalent of a motorbike, the Triumph.
Well, it's one of the loudest motorbikes as well.
Yeah.
Really loud.
And a classic. But doing it like on the terrain that he's doing it, going down like mountains on the thing, with incredible helicopter photography as well.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
And a very obvious stunt double doing
yes.
HD doing 90s photography, no favours.
Well, I was watching it in soft focus on.
Oh, and you still got it.
I'm actually wondering now you've mentioned it, Rob. Conspiracy Corner that Van Damme was carrying an injury for this film.
Oh my word!
That's why there's lots of stunt doubling and no roundhouse kicks.
I just don't know why you'd cast JCVD in a movie and not have him kick anyone at any point in the movie.
Two people get their nuts trashed, which is, as we've learned now, is a serious JCVD movie hallmark.
Yeah, he does. He does fight. He's not afraid to fight dirty.
Yeah.
And a good nut punch every now and then is just what the doctor's ordered.
Did you not think that bit in the chase where he's like motorbiking up the hill was very similar to Mission Impossible?
Oh, yeah.
It was very similar. All it was missing was the parachute at the end of it.
bit of a rip, possibly.
JCVD just...
Like inspiration.
Yeah, Tom cruising it off a cliff. Love a bit of that.
Oh, it's good. I think there's also good stuff when he goes back. There's the hilarious moment when he drives away and he's in the middle of the desert and he stops at an intersection and he stops and goes, Clydie, and then turns around like, right. Goodness me, straight.
He loves her, Rob. He loves her. He's passionate love.
Well, we've all seen that.
Her. It's obvious.
We've all seen that. The passion, right? Okay. So he'd been beaten up in the barn by Lonnie. This is before, obviously, that the cops tried to run him down, and Lonnie had handcuffed him and beat him up. I thought it was a really good scene, actually.
This is what I do like about JCVD as an action hero, is that like now you have like lamos like The Rock who are like contractually obliged never to lose a fight on screen.
Oh, really?
Right. Whereas JCVD is just like, beat the crap out of me, and then I'll get up and I'll give a bit back, and then beat the crap out of me some more. It's good. It's like, the hero's getting his ass kicked, but look how much he can take, and he won't give up.
Yeah,
like, that's
still not sure he's a hero. Willis, yes, I do.
It's the Bruce Willis formula. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is, isn't it? It is. I always like that in JCVD. He's vulnerable in his movies.
Yeah. He's like, we're going to have a fight. You're going to hit me. I'm going to hit you. I'm going to win eventually, but it'll be a tight run thing.
And he loses this one with Lonnie.
Oh, yeah.
Handcuffed and battered. And then Clydie takes him inside and sort of dabs at his abdomen with a towel in the soft light.
Passion. I can't believe we've gone back to the sex scene.
More passion.
No, it needs doing.
Why are we going back? No, it doesn't need doing. We've moved on. We don't need to go over the sex scene.
Because I think it's a weird sex scene.
Passion.
passion. Okay. Because I found it extremely uncomfortable.
You would not understand the Quebec passion.
I found it really quite uncomfortable. This.
Well, it's obviously two actors who don't really like each other.
That's what I'm getting at here. Two actors who don't like each other, engaged in something that they don't want to do, and you can sort of tell. But
I don't know. I think Van Damme's enjoying it more than she is.
Well, he certainly appears it. But he's a great actor, so that's
testament to him.
It's a testament to him. But anyway, fast forward again. JCVD comes back to rescue Clyde because the horrible people they've tried lots of really terrible really poor ways. Well, some are poor, some are not poor, but they've tried lots of other ways.
Intimidation tactics.
Yeah. I mean, Ted Levine as the enforcer is really not getting the job done at all.
Well, no, because he farms it out to Lonnie so much, and Lonnie's...
I know.
This is poor management from everyone, really.
Yeah.
And Ted Levine they walk into Clyde's house with a shotgun and chase the kids to the attic and wave a contract in her face and then drag her with a pen to sign it. Surely this was the first course of action from the very beginning. But anyway, this is happening. I thought Rosanna Arquette did really well in this scene, actually.
Yeah, well, she's probably like, I don't have to act with JCVD in this particular one. Like, these guys have actually been actually trained actors, so yeah, maybe we can...
It's a good last half hour, actually, this.
The last 20 minutes of this film are really, really good.
Yeah, really good.
And then Ted Levine ends up going upstairs. You have the hilarious moment where they set a fire in the front room and then JCVD appears and drags that guy through the window with the curtains that are on fire and then thumps him in the face. Which is absolutely outstanding. I've never seen a man on fire get punched in the face.
And then he's asleep on fire. Stunt performer earning absolute overtime here from the same stunt school as the dude getting his balls imploded in Way of the Gun, going so above and beyond.
And then he goes upstairs and Ted Levine's up there and he anatomy of a falls him through the attic window.
Yes,
and then they have an almighty scrap, the pair of them.
It's brilliant,
and brilliant.
I think it's really good. And there's that shot where it's from the inside of the house, then of some wood and wood panelling, which blows out.
Yeah,
and the camera sort of zooms forward, dolly zooms forward into the gap made by the shotgun blast because they're on the roof outside wrestling over a shotgun.
Absolutely,
I've not seen that before or after. I don't think
it's very well choreographed, the fight, and Ted's giving as good as he gets. And there's no roundhouse kicks, which is really disappointing. Although he does suplex him through the windshield of a police car, which was very enjoyable. And I was like, and then he pretends to be dead. This is the most hilarious moment of the film. It's Ted Undertaker's his way back from the dead, picks up a shotgun, gets a good shot off, but misses JCVD. But don't worry, Kieran Culkin has recovered from being smashed in the face himself by Ted Levine. And throws, a loaded firearm to JCVD in.
We need to explain the origin of the firearm because this is some more abysmal 90s parenting. It's all right, you can have in the barn, you can have a box of your deceased dad's stuff. That's fine.
Yeah.
All right. We'll even let you keep his loaded gun.
But he throws it to him in full action hero
legend
slow-mo.
He got the brief.
JCVD catches it with one hand like he's Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible 2.
It's outstanding.
Then kills a man in front of his new stepson.
Yeah, just that lovely 90s slow-mo race for the gun. Who's going to get the gun first?
It's great.
It's phenomenal. It's so good.
But it's just so funny that there's an 8-year-old kid throwing it to him.
I love Mookie at this bit because there's a bit where he tries to distract someone, and I was really disappointed with the line he gives because he goes, "Hey, I'm over here, you big jerk," or something. And I really thought he was going to say, "I'm over here, you big horse's ass."
I know what you mean. Yes.
I was like, why did he say that?
He very much channels his inner McAllister in that sequence, doesn't he? Because he sets up a trap a la Kevin with the horse kicking the guy in the face.
It's a really good trap as well. Arguably far more efficient than any of Kevin's traps.
But that would have been a whole star for me if he would have said, "I'm overheating Big Horse's ass."
This is the fine margins filmmakers have to govern.
It is absolutely.
We have missed the payoff line.
Oh, yeah, fantastic! Sorry.
Yes, for Ted Levine. Yeah, sorry. Please, in your finest.
Well, no, I can't possibly say it. There's no way.
Oh yeah. Au revoir. Fuck yeah.
Excellent.
Brilliant. Yeah, very good.
Which I did laugh out loud again.
But honestly, right, I'm so frustrated because I was like, why hasn't it been this the whole time?
Yeah.
Very true.
Like, if it was this the whole time, this would be outstanding. We'd be talking Hard Target levels of quality.
You're so right, actually. If this had been focused on with more of an action tilt rather than the family drama stuff, we could be talking about like another favourite here. It still is a favourite.
It's like, honestly, I watched the last 20 minutes of this movie and I was like, why isn't it just this all the way through? Him just battering random developers, like, and there is a little bit of that, but it's like 15, 20 minutes in between each one. Get yourself into town and cause some trouble around there.
Yeah. Send people for Buster Cage.
Exactly.
That's what we want.
Take your big stick and your boyfriend.
This ending does feature one of the funniest, most useless henchmen, who's like a fat old guy in a suit. Who has no
He's the one who gets
purpose.
home alone, didn't he?
Yeah, he is, yeah. Oh, sorry, we keep bouncing around. It's just because there's so much stuff that you keep remembering. You can't help but bring it up.
Was there not also a really great, satisfying nut shot in the
A monster one, yeah, a monster one.
So good. And the music behind it is really, like, triumphant.
Yeah, like, yeah! Chester's balls, yeah!
Was it on Ted Levine?
Yeah.
Nut shot? Yeah, it would have been funny if the fight just stopped for like 2 minutes.
Like,
Ted Levine.
I thought the nut shot was on the head honcho guy, but no, it must have been Ted Levine.
Oh no, that was the. I mean when he's been arrested and he's going back to jail, and he hits him in the knackers with the car door.
No, because that's too funny.
Because it's like he's won, he's won the day, and it's like the music is on like da-na-na, da-na-na, he just beams him in the nuts. And it's like, yeah.
So, no, Josh Ackland comes out the house after Levine is dead. He's got Clyde at gunpoint. Lonnie, I think, has called the cops. It's never explained. And all the cops arrive. All the guys that were chasing JCVD moments earlier across that incredible desert mountain pass, they all arrive. And Josh Ackland comes out and is...
diplomatic immunity. It's like, no, wrong movie.
Wrong movie. He's been handcuffed, and JCVD eventually emerges, having given himself up to Lonnie, which I think was supposed to be a great big dramatic moment.
Before macking his ex-girlfriend.
Right in front of his face, yeah.
It was all, and the camera, we even cut to Lonnie going like, oh, God.
Yeah.
Looking away.
I'm going to jail, but don't forget, Lonnie, what I took from you.
Yeah.
Well, she's all in as well, because she's like, we'll be here for however long it takes.
I'm going to jail for a very long time.
I'm coming back. I love you.
And Lonnie's like, yeah, you saved a lot of lives here, so maybe that'll count for something. Only one person dies in this whole movie.
Oh, is there only one person?
Yeah, Ted Levine.
Ted Levine, yeah.
Is he the only guy?
Yeah, nobody else dies, do they?
Another homicide on JCVD's record. Right?
Justifiable, though, not context.
Should be out of prison, so,
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. And, yes, Ackland
He's re-offending up the wazoo.
Yeah, he is. Ackland, he's not coming out for 25 plus. Ackland is giving some, like, Mookie is a grown man. Mookie, like, my name's Michael, just don't call me that. I'm 40, you're 60, just stop this. Ackland is giving it the big uns, even though he's...
handcuffed himself.
Yeah. And
going to jail.
JCVD... I mean, it's assault. He assaults him in the knackers. It's funny.
Yeah, but the music makes it funny, so it's fine.
It does. What also makes it funny is the fact that, like, Ackland sort of leans back and passes out. He was trashed in the nuts so hard, he sort of loses consciousness. And it's of hovered near my vehicle.
Strange things happen when you tap one in the knackers. A mate of mine at high school once got one right in the veins, and he had to go home ill for the rest of the day.
I was just take one in the knackers on a cold day on a five-a-side pitch, and it was a huge. Oh gosh, I'd love to say who it is, but I don't want to offend this person. But it's someone you both know, and the knackers. It was one of the worst knacker shots I've ever seen, and the noises that came out were like Vincent Hanna in Heat. Oh ah, oh ah. It was awful. And also, early into the game. Nothing could carry on.
The game was abandoned.
Not the
Match abandoned. Asterisk. Severe knacker shot.
In memoriam of that guy's knackers.
Severe scrotal trauma.
Atomised. And Van Damme drives away, and we end on... Sorry, in the back of a police van, I should say. And we end on a freeze frame again.
Beautiful.
Van Damme looking out the window. I just...
At his new family that he'll never see again.
Again, a whole star for the freeze frame fade to black ending.
Yeah.
Super.
Also, the freeze frame in Double Impact, so he's on a freeze frame run at this point. Freeze frame credits run at this point. And a banger hits on the credits. I can't remember what they're called. The Daring Weasels, something like that. The Dandy Weasels, the Dandy Wheelers. I don't know. It's an absolute crackerjack. I'm sure I've offended a lot of bands in the last moment. What are your favourite bits, guys?
It's the fight with Levine, the whole, from the attic to the ground, to Levine punching Culkin in the face, throwing him into a gate, to Van Damme suplexing Levine through the car windshield, and then the hilarious slow-mo of an 8-year-old throwing a loaded firearm to a fully grown man for him to execute this guy.
Not at all traumatic for the child, just a great time.
Oh, no, yeah. He's not going to need any counselling at all. He's going to be a very well-adjusted young man.
Summers with Sam. Good memories.
My Summer with Sam.
Better title.
Si, what about you? What is your best bit?
Apart from JCVD's bare ass, which was the highlight. No, I think it's that point where you're waiting so long for some semblance of the JCVD we all know and love and why we sort of watch these movies. And then that bit when his bike is parked up on the tree and he sees the cops coming for him. And then he just launches himself.
Oh, yeah.
Slow-mo.
That would hurt you knackers as well.
Lands on the bike and then kicks off this car chase, which I think is great. I think the chase is brilliant. The bike chase from all the cops. Stupid cops, like, driving up ravines and stuff, like, completely totaling themselves.
How many of them are there? They're on bikes, they're on horses, they're in cars.
Like Blues Brothers, there's just like cops everywhere. But no, I think that is a great moment to kick off the best scene of the film for me.
Yeah, I know, I do agree. I think I find it hard, the best bit thing, because I think the bit that I enjoyed the most, 100%, is Mookie opening the tent door and finding him in a full suit with no sleeping bag, reading a jazz rag by torchlight. And then
good job he wasn't really 10 minutes later, because we would have been...
His mum wouldn't have cared anyway.
No.
It was the 90s. Terrible parenting.
No, you're absolutely right. I think any of the times, there's actually two moments where Levine and Van Damme are eye to eye in close proximity to each other. And there's this alpha male crackle. There's this beef that's mega going on, which I really liked. And, like when they're like, I'll see you another time. I look forward to it. Like that kind of stuff. I really enjoyed those little Yeah, in-your-face moments there. Reminded me of boxing face-offs, actually. So I really enjoyed those. But what about Nowhere to Run, for your reconsideration? Should we reconsider it? What are you thinking? James, what are you thinking?
So, don't get me wrong, it's not without its moments, both from an ass-kicking and unintentionally hilarious standpoint. The final 15 minutes in particular are an absolute delight. However, I did find it a bit of a slog getting to that point. The middle portion is desperately slow and asks way too much from poor Jean-Claude from an acting standpoint. He's a bimbo who should be kicking lads in the head at every opportunity, not playing father figure to a pair of precocious brats. To me, there is a clear tension between the more quote-unquote serious, low-key film that this once was and the action picture it is attempting to be. As such, it kind of falls between the two stools. If you are desperate to watch a Van Damme vehicle in which the Muscles from Brussels plays an avenging crime-fighting vagrant, go for the superior hard target. Nowhere to Run, sadly, does not belong on the JCVD Mount Rushmore, in my opinion.
James, I think that is an incredibly well thought out response to this film.
Oh, thanks. Do my best.
No, I think that's brilliant, that. And extremely fair.
Yeah, it's not all Jean-Claude's fault either.
No,
it's obviously just like, we've got this script, who can we put in it? Van Damme, I suppose. Like, can we make some of these elements work? If we throw in couple of fist fights and a motorcycle chase, will that do it? And it just doesn't all come together as a cohesive. I still enjoyed it, obviously.
But recommending it to other people, which is what the purpose of what we're talking about.
I don't want to watch these things ironically, where we've had a lot of fun at the expense of the movie and the things that you could get away with putting in that are just completely not allowed nowadays. But that's watching it ironically is like, we talk a lot about action movies on this pod, and I think the idea of watching something because it's of a time and you're watching it to sort of make fun of it is not really a good reason to recommend it. Agree. I don't think.
Totally agree. And that's where this film sits for me. Sorry, spoilers on my own thoughts. Si, what do you think?
Yeah, kind of agree. I'm not going to be totally like down on a vehicle for the most beautiful man in action cinema. But yeah, there are just like so many better JCVD movies, I think, than Nowhere to Run. There is a lovely and sweet performance from a young Roman Roy, which I think's the highlight of the film. I've mentioned it. I genuinely think there's a lot of it that's really solidly made. Like the lighting, especially, is really good. And from that era, which was probably unappreciated at the time, but as time's gone on, where it now seems, back then it seemed normal to actually light movies properly rather than now, where it's not the case. Who knew that you should light movies properly?
Yeah,
who knew? It's fine. I think the last half hour really sort of saves it a lot, I think, aside from the sort of misfiring family drama, romance side of things. And there are more JCVD films of like that are more valuable to watch. But I think if you've hit all those and seen all those, and you want a seminar in how to light and shoot a movie, maybe watch this one.
Mate, I think that also that is a cracking response, and both of you much more fair and honest. I mean, obviously we've got the benefit of hindsight and how cinema has gone on since then, but really, really fair, Si, response to a viewing for the first time ever of Nowhere to Run.
We are JCVD connoisseurs at this.
But I completely agree, and we've actually been very honest about it. So for me now, the purpose of this podcast is for your reconsideration. Would I recommend this to people who either didn't know about it or thought it was a bomb? The answer is no, I wouldn't. I think like it's a fascinating mess of 90s filmmaking that doesn't quite know what it was, but I think that's born out of developmental hell more than anything else, and all sorts of changes behind the scenes about what this film wanted to try to achieve, what it wanted to be, who it wanted to even be in it, and when you get Jean-Claude Van Damme in a movie, that movie going public, who is so used to all the 80s movies and the turn of the 90s movies, are expecting a certain thing that you want to give them, because that's where the box office lies. I still think it's It's so funny, I can't bear it. And I know that for the most part, it doesn't mean it. I think the failings of the film are based on casting, really. There's an obvious disparity between Rosanna Arquette and JCVD. They clearly didn't quite see eye to eye, get on, and I think that the fact that you've got those two and a script hangover, that so much is hung over from earlier drafts of Pals, that it's like, well, what scenes will fit now that we have to repurpose it as an action film? Well, those things will, without actually thinking about it, without actually thinking about whether these things work in a cohesive story sense. So there's so much that goes on that I don't... Why the heck is JCVD, as a convict who's laying low, breaking into houses to nick salt in a suit? There's just... Right, that's just...
Because that rotten steak he was eating did not taste nice. He needed some salt to soften it.
There's just so much stuff that you just will not fly these days. That said, there's loads of butt-kicking action. There's loads of butt action. There's loads of... again, totally echo inside there. It's so lovely made at times, this movie. And looks like a proper nice film to watch. But for me, it's a folly, a fascinating folly. But I'm not going to say to the movie-going public, go and, check this out pronto because it's an unearthed gem. Sadly, it's not. As a curio, it's definitely there. If you want to see something quite interesting that doesn't make the mark but has some decent moments, go for it. And if you're a JCVD aficionado that's not made it there yet, of course go and watch it. But for everyone else, I'm going to say no.
Whoa.
My word.
Yeah.
You're out of the fan club, bro.
Fair.
Hand in your Timberlands and...
Like a cop off the case. Hand in your badge, your Timberlands, your double denim.
Your Timberlands and your double denim on the way out, yes.
But that doesn't mean that I didn't flipping love it. I absolutely loved it.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just, do I think that this is worth greater audience and more appeal? No, I don't.
I think it just shows, the standards that we have for the man himself, and we expect a bit more.
But I also think it shows that we're fair.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it does. Anyway, loved having a chat about that tonight, guys. Thank you both for spending your time on Nowhere to Run at your lunchtimes today, which I thought was absolutely incredible effort. Love it. And on the train side. Ridiculous. It's insane. So, what have we got next time? Whose pick is it?
So I'm up next,
Wow.
and the reason. So I read an article recently where Wunderkin writer-director Damien Chazelle appears to think that he is in director jail. So I think it's high time we had a look at the movie that put him there. So we're going to look at his Hollywood epic, and I do mean epic in every sense of the word. Babylon, from fairly recent one this for us, so 2022
Love
film.
it.
That's going to be a big episode. Is it 3 hours long?
Yeah, so it's available to stream on Paramount Plus, and I think it's on Sky as well. And I've got the 4K, obviously, as part of the Babylon Hive.
Wow.
Yes, this should be an interesting one to do. I think it's quite good to do as well. As sort of, this was clearly being positioned as a big awards contender, and I think it maybe got nominated for score, and that was it, or something. So yeah, speaking of follies, this could be quite an interesting one, but on a different scale from JCVD.
Fascinated. You've obviously seen it, James, and obviously a fan. Si, have you seen that one?
Yeah, it's one of my favourite films of the year it came out. I think it's absolutely brilliant.
Wow! So it'd be a first watch for me. So
yeah, I love Babylon. I'm just gonna have to make sure I reserve adequate time to watch the fucker because it's absolutely massive.
Wicked. Well, thanks, boys. I look forward to watching Babylon and chatting about it with you very, very soon. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in today. Appreciate everything as always. Hope you enjoyed our discussion of Nowhere to Run, which is on great exclamation mark.
Exclamation point movies, action. I think it's a free-to-air channel, so everyone who's got like any sort of digibox should be able to get that. Nice. And I've seen it on there a few times. It's in the rotation on that particular channel. So
go fill your jolly boots. Please catch up with us on the Twitters. Please give us 5 stars and 5 stars.
5 stars.
So we're a podcast, not a cup of tea. Give us 5 stars on your subscription service of choice. And do hit us up on the emails at reconsiderpod@gmail.com. Say goodbye, boys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye. I'm just going to check on the how active my subscription to Top Heavy magazine is.
I wonder if it's still going. I daren't Google it.
There's no way. There is no way.
I think it's a very successful publication out of Quebec City. So.
Did he bring one of his favourites from the home? Is that a gift from Billy? I got a jazz mag from your hometown, along with your favourite suit. What a weird movie. What a weird movie.